This episode of Broken Bones and Bullshit is sponsored by Ozcan Rule. We've got Mitch Russell here, 10-time Bullfighter of the Year, 2-time Contractor of the Year. Welcome on, mate.
Thanks, mate. Thanks for having me.
So how did the whole rodeo thing start for yourself?
Mate, I was a town kid pretty well on the outskirts of Newcastle, and a mate of mine into paint horses and rein horses, and went to a show and they had a steer ride and he got on one, and then next minute I got on one and went from there.
So family and that didn't rodeo?
No, not really. No, brother played football. He sort of went to Sydney and played football, and my dad their family was from a rodeo town just near home there, but sort of a little bit involvement in the community, but no family members or anything like that ever involved.
So how old were you when you got on your first steer?
I might have been about 12 maybe, something like that, 11 or 12. Probably didn't ride one until I was about 15. But yeah, kept trying, loved it, fell in love with the first one, and yeah, probably about then, just at the home there, and then the first rodeo I was on the potty calves, and yeah, went from there.
And you rode all the way into open bulls?
Yep, only got on about 20 open bulls.
Yep.
So when I broke open, I was fighting bulls and riding bareback horses at the same time. So young and fit, did it all, and and yeah, kind of nerves got the better of me there for the open bull ride. So
yeah. Oh, you just lost your love for the...
No, I lost my nerve.
Yeah.
As mad as it sounds, fighting bulls for about 18 years total, I lost my nerve riding bulls.
Yeah.
See the draws come out, and for 3 days I was a nervous wreck, and couldn't do it. I was better off doing it when I didn't know what I was getting on, and then fought bulls and never thought about nerves again.
Yeah. And do you find that helps when now you're a contractor and carting bulls, you have a better understanding for and respect the fellas getting on them?
Yeah.
Because when you're in that position, and then if, like you said, you lost your nerve.
Yep.
So then sometimes you have these contractors never been on bulls.
Yep.
And then, just fucking get on with it. It's like, well, mate, you put yourself in that position.
Yeah, it's always sort of try and put myself in a position in anything I do is go and do it, and then you can judge it.
Yeah.
Don't, all the couch or the computer people that want to sit down and watch and bag it out. I started judging this time. Doing a few futurities just for that reason, just so I've
Get
been there and done it. And
yeah.
If anyone wants to judge about what the judges have done, well, go and do it yourself, and then you've got opinion.
Yeah.
So I've always sort of said that if I can be in their shoes and been there and done it, then I've got opinion. If not, keep your opinion to yourself or behind closed doors. But don't go and talk it and spruik it up if you don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
It's pretty simple.
Because it's like shoot bossing.
Yep.
Everyone happy to bag out a shoot boss. I've shoot bossed a few rodeos. There wouldn't be a worse job in rodeo, I don't reckon.
No. A nice
calling
man
out kids' names and
turn a nice man into an angry man. Real quick.
yeah. So how long did you keep riding bareback horses when you kept fighting bulls, even though you stopped riding?
Yeah, I did. I sort of at that time when I started fighting bulls, I was about 17 when I got approved. So I think I'd have to double check, but I reckon I'd nearly be the youngest approved bullfighter in the ABCRA. So I went pretty quick there and was riding bareback horses and kind of threw the bulls away then once I got approved. But then I only got on bareback horses. I didn't even make open in the bareback riding, and then it wasn't until a few years later I sort of settled down a bit and got more established bullfighting, and then got on bareback horses then. So, and then kind of went for a year and a half, won the rookie title in the Southern Zone, the national title, and retired.
That was enough for the bareback career.
Yeah, I did won the national title and had a good finals, and then got on the same horse 2 weeks in a row. And he knocked me cold both weekends. So
that was enough.
Had a spell and come back in the spring, had some money won. I thought I'll make the finals again, and I got 3 jumped off a horse I'd won before, and sold my rigging the next day.
That was it. So 18 years fighting bulls.
About 18, mate. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
How long in the PBR?
About 10 years.
Yep.
So kind of the first year I got in there, I got to go to the finals. So it was about 10 years, but yeah, nine finals in a row.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And who was the crew you were sort of fighting with back then when you started?
When I first started, so it was pretty cool. Like I've had a few good people that brought me along the way, and started doing a few with a fella called Brendan Allen from down south there, and he it's probably a blessing that I got to fight with him, but a blessing he retired too, because I kind of took his job.
Yeah.
So then back then it was sort of Mad Dog and Daryl Chong. We did that, and then they kind of retired, and then got out of the sport for a bit, and then the new crew come, and probably did most of it. And then actually I got another guy that I rodeo with, Jeff Hall. He got his farrier business established and kind of finished rodeoing, and we got him into the PBR, and we had a good few years with myself, Jeff, and Clint Kelly. We were sort of the O team for a while, only team, and yeah.
You are all retired now, though, aren't you?
Yeah, all grew up, got kids, and everyone got hurt. So yeah, kind of COVID probably buggered it for us three, I reckon. But yeah, sort of about the same time we all called it quits. Yeah, but it was good while it lasted. Them two guys.
You don't get the itch to go back?
I went to a rodeo one day and a guy wanted a bull run up early, and they're like, "Can you just fight this bull?" I'm like, shit. Went out the arena, I was like, I did not want to fucking be here. And no, I haven't had the itch. The only thing I miss about fighting bulls is being fit.
Yeah.
That's it. That is it. So.
And when, did you have any big wrecks fighting bulls?
Not too bad, really. I've had 3 knee reconstructions, or 4 now, as of last year. But they were sort of, the worst one was when I just got approved, like the first year I got approved. It took a long time to come good. Had a knee reconstruction, blew it out within 6 months and had to go again. The other ones I sort of was back within 9 months, just knew all about it and put in the hard yards physio and listened to what the doctor said and the parents said about not drinking and doing it properly, and I was back within 9 months of a full knee reconstruction. So knuckled down and got that. So they were the worst time frame ones, but probably the worst one I ever had, which was, I've heard it there before, some of the worst injuries you had that were nothing was, I got hit in the throat one night with a bull, like the rider tripped me over. I was on my knees and the bull spun around and just a horn hit me straight across the throat, and my throat just swelled up and I was having trouble breathing, and they were about to piff me and stick a knife in my throat so I didn't suffocate, but sort of got me on some stuff to settle me down, and yeah, that was probably the worst and scariest, but end up being nothing.
Yeah.
So, but that was pretty sketchy there for a minute.
So what year was it you won your first PBR bullfighter of the year?
I think it was about 2012.
Yeah.
Yeah. So went from the ABCRA, I think that was 11 or 10 maybe, and then sort of kind of finished there as well. Just kind of done a few picked and choose where I went there.
And then once you got the gig with the PBR, you made that your priority?
Just stuck with that as a priority, and just so I wasn't letting anyone down either side, and was sort of getting established with the bulls then as well. So always went to the rodeos, and still done a few of the bigger ones when I knew I had no PBRs on, but just sort of stuck to PBR, and that's where everyone wants to be, and I didn't want to lose that job, so concentrated on keeping it.
And fighting bulls for that long, what's the biggest wreck you've watched in person, like or been involved in, where everything's just gotten out of control? Were you around when Maneater was, like Brian Duggan was cutting out Maneater?
At the back end of him, I reckon I might have only fought him a couple of times. Yeah.
Were you there when that accident happened where he pulled that fella down that crushed the cage and cut his jugular?
No. Was that north somewhere?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was at Townsville.
Yeah, no, it would have been probably, mate, I might have missed him by about 12 months, 2 years, I think. Yeah, looking at the photos and videos and that of him, yeah.
Have you had any situations like that?
Probably the worst one we had was Chris Lowe at Newcastle, one of our bulls, Get Rich Quick. It sort of ripped him down, and when it's done that, it knocked him out, and then he sort of was laying on his back and it stood on his head and kind of ripped his whole side of his face and his ear off.
Wow.
And some pretty good photos of that, actually. I'm just sort of, I was at that time wearing a surfing helmet with the GoPro on it. So I'm sort of looking like that and covering Fred so the bull couldn't, because he wasn't mean at all. He barked and he was not mean, but he just kept spinning.
And kept coming over the top of him.
Over the top, and it was just that first initial one where he was open and it just got him, and there was just blood everywhere, and I just sort of, first reaction was to not let that happen again.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, Mad Dog, he was like just hugged him and just got him going. And he just sort of, I looked like that and he just walked straight past, you know. Like, he wasn't mean, but it was just a...
So it could have been a lot worse.
Could have been a lot. If he was mean, it would have sucked. But
Yeah.
it was good for us. It worked out well for us. And yeah, it didn't harm Fred. He won the national title next week.
Oh, cool.
So it didn't worry him too much. It's pretty... Seen how tough he was that couple of weeks.
How was it in like situations like that? Like, does it just get your guts going, or you handle that stuff pretty well?
No, I handled it pretty well.
Yeah.
A lot of my whole mindset of fighting bulls was not think about anything.
Yeah.
You know, if you let something happen one bull before, you can't dwell on it. You just got to move on. So I just reacted to the situation, what I thought was right every time. I've left guys knocked out in the middle of the arena and got my ass run back to the catch pen, steamrolled back there, but it worked out. That's what I thought. But you know, a lot of people probably would have bagged me out because I'd left him out there. But I'm getting steamrolled back to the catch pen, and he's still out there not getting touched. So I did that at Bundaberg one night, and got a bit of abuse for that. And then I was like, well, nothing happened to him. I'm the one getting wrecked out here. And so I just sort of did what I thought was right, and never really thought much of it. Just sort of focused on being the best I could there and then, and everything worked out.
Well, I seen an interview with Cody Webster, and he spoke about that he reckons no one should jump into the arena.
Yep.
He's like, even if someone's knocked out, we'll stay on the bull.
Yep.
And then leave him, because if one of us goes there, it's just gonna more chance the bull's gonna get dragged across there.
100%.
So he's like, if we stay in like they fight in the 3-2.
Yep.
If we stay in that, then we'll keep his attention and drag him back to the release
100%.
gate, and then we'll let him out. Like, he goes, as soon as people start climbing in, then they'll get their heads up, take their attention off us,
Yep. And go
and
to that.
then it can just keep going.
It is it's a natural instinct to want to help, but it's not helping at all.
Yeah. You got 3 professionals
Yeah,
in there.
exactly.
Like,
Yep. If they're all knocked out, I'd probably say, yeah, come help.
Yeah.
But other than that, just let the guys do their job. That's what they're paid for, and that's why the other ones that jump in don't.
Yeah.
Yep. No.
And then when there's 3 of yous and a rider, at least you know where everyone is.
Yep.
As
Yep.
soon as people start coming in, then changes everything. You go to walk back, you hit someone and
something
trip
else,
over, and then
Yep.
then you're getting mauled.
Yeah, it's not good, so stay the hell out of the arena.
Have you had any big maulings where I know you haven't had a lot of injuries, but have you had times where it just kept going?
I had one more, and it was pretty funny actually. You should never remember this kind of stuff, but it was the same night at Bundaberg. Guy up there had these bulls. No, they were pretty mean. Anyway, a guy got knocked out, and anyway, this thing was mauling the piss out of me. And like I was on my back, my mate was knocked out next to me. I was on my back and I was just kicking him in the head, and he was just pushing me. And the contractor was yelling at me to leave him alone. So
It's not a fair fight.
I remember him yelling at me, and I'm like trying to kick this thing up to me. And I was like, he mauled me for 20 seconds. And I was like, it didn't hurt me at all. He was just that mean. He didn't know what he was mean about. And anyway, I tried to jump over the back of the chutes and fight the contractor. But it just made me wild that I was getting yelled at. So that was probably one of the biggest maulings. But and he stayed on me for the longest time. But same deal, no injuries. And there's been a few good hookings and stuff like that. And haven't been shot out of the arena, been shot back in the fence. But yeah, nothing I couldn't walk off really.
Yeah.
It's probably only two events in about 17 years I couldn't finish.
Yeah, wow.
First one I did my knee. I tried, but it just kept coming out. Second time I tore my nutsack open.
Oh.
And I tried to go back. I only had the short round to go, and I'd done about 2, and I was like, I can't do it. I did finish the round of the finals once the first ball out, jumped on the back of my leg, and it blew the ACL, just snapped it clean in half, and the next 14 balls were pretty painful. So I finished that night. That was when there was only 2 bullfighters.
Yeah.
There was only 15 bulls too, so that was about it. And the other one, it might have been 3 times Townsville one night. I had a massive horn in the hip and just everything went numb, and I was no good to anyone. So probably about 3 times in about 7 years I couldn't finish an event. So everything else we just knuckled down and got by.
I reckon them mean bulls are the old campaigners, the ones that they actually they don't seem that hot.
Yep.
But then because they just know what they want.
Yeah, definitely.
Like them ones that are carry on, high-headed and fizzy.
Yeah.
They want to kill everything, so they don't get nothing.
No, they're easy. They're easy
Because
to fire.
they're too busy looking around. Like,
Yep, 100%.
if someone stands up from their chair in the crowd, they're looking at them and like.
The old girl at the fence kicking the rail, telling him to get away. And kicking the rail.
Yeah, I had one of Gary's bulls at my show, and he was like, he's mean, but he was like just a young, and his bulls are huge, tall.
Yeah.
And then these fellas are like taking the piss out of him, like the other side of the fence. Then he starts like stretching his neck and looking over the top. I'm like, oh fuck, he's gonna jump. I'm like yelling at the bullfighters, quick, do something about it. And like got the security to get rid of him because he was like, you can see when a bull wants to do it.
Yep.
It's like he's gonna come over.
Yeah.
It's only a 6 foot high fence. You've seen the still shots of the bulls that they can jump that high.
Yeah. No, the bulls knew what they could do. Yeah, it's unbelievably athletic. They are. 6 foot fence is nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And all they have to do is get their front feet over it, and the rest will crumble.
Yep. Yep. 100%. It's crazy.
So, your bullfighting? Did you find that helped you when you started contracting, breeding bulls, and?
Probably with contracting and fighting bulls. I guess a lot of thing is probably my work, buying cattle, running the place and mustering cattle. It's all. I guess you could say I'm a stockman and then a contracting bullfighter after that. So fighting bulls, it was just like I was going to work some cattle. To be honest, it never worried me, and that's all I was doing, going to work cattle. So, but yeah, definitely just sort of riding them, fighting them, breeding them. It's all tied in, and
Yeah.
I've learned a lot off a lot of different people, which is good, and yeah, it all ties in.
Who's some of your biggest influences from riding all the way to contracting?
Yeah, probably riding. Like I've seen a lot of good guys. Like I was in the era where there was a lot of bull riders when I started. Just real quiet, unassuming guys that got it done. Like I was around with Ben Jones and that were riding, and Jace O'Hearn and Brendan Clark. Fought bulls for all them, and then you got the next gen, sort of Dave Kennedy. And then the Richo boys and Aaron Clyde and all them and Slady. Like I've been around all them guys, so it's been good. I wouldn't really. I admire anyone that gets on the bull, really. But them guys that could do it easy, and done it every weekend, and that was. I can't really narrow it down, really. And then as for the contractor sort of thing, like my partner Ed on the bulls, like he's phenomenal with cattle, and we just got along pretty good.
Yeah.
But just watching. Even people that do dumb shit, you learn off. So I love watching anyone that does anything and can't narrow it down. The guys that help me, sort of Fitzsimmons brothers with the rodeo, they've been pretty good. They've been really good to us.
So who's your partner in the team up?
Ed Crosby.
Yeah.
Yep. So I work for him as well, and we've been going since.
And he owns the meatworks and that.
Yep. So I'm a meat buyer for a meatworks, and we've got a few places we run a few cows on and whatnot. So yep, he's been a big part of it all. For sure.
And he loves it?
Yeah. He loves the breeding and the getting them going at home side of things more than driving
the big
all night
lights.
and pulling flanks and going to the rodeos. He more loves the breeding and looking at the young cattle and doing all that. So
And what's your 5 favourite bulls you've bred over because you've been doing it a while now, so it would be a waste to say one. I'm sure there'd be at least 5.
There's probably bulls I've bred and bulls we've got. Bring It was probably one of the better ones. We bought him. His name was Scalp Hunter when we bought him. He was a big, scary brindle, and he went unridden. He won an ABCRA title, a PBR title, and never got ridden.
And then you retired him.
And then I retired him.
Yeah.
I retired him the 91 PBR Bull of the Year.
Yeah, wow.
And actually, Francisco Morales, Mexican guy, I reckon he rode him, but he slapped him.
Yeah.
And then Dave Kennedy, he was the same. He rode him for like 7, 8 one night down in Sydney, and but he never had a qualified score. He was big, mean, and he hadn't bucked off before he even bucked. He was mean. So he was pretty cool. Call Me Joe. He's probably the best one. We bred him. I said to you before that he got Jace O'Hearn spurred the guts out of him when he was about a 3-year-old, and he won 2 Buck and Bull of the Year titles. Was a short round at the PBR. there've been multiple 90 points on him. He was little, he had a big heart, went everywhere. He was up there, and then now these days we've got Wetzel. He's a good bull we bred.
Yeah, I like Wetzel. He's rank.
He's going good. There's some other bulls there that never got to do much. They were really good. I knew they were good. Cracked them out when they were 4-year-olds, and one bull there, Lockie Richardson, was like 88 in the sand one night, like really deep, and he barked. I think he might have tore a gut or something like that. He died the next day at home. Elvis, he was pretty cool, but I did breed him before I took him anywhere, which I sort of never done before. I did think a lot of him, and also I've got a bull here tonight. Say when he's the only bull I've ever named as a 2-year-old. Everything's just a number, but I named him.
Is that the feature bull tonight? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So he's.
I was expecting to see Wetzel.
Yeah, he's at home there. He's actually a little bit footsore at the minute. So we get our bulls trimmed, and he's just sort of hasn't fully recovered yet. So he'll be back in a fortnight. Yeah. But just sort of leave him at home. It's about 7 hours up here, so we'll take him a couple of hours from home there next couple of weeks. So
a few easy trips for him.
Yeah, just get him there. But yeah, say when he's given everything from the day dot, from the calf with a dummy to now. So they're probably my top 4 or 5 that I've owned and bred. But there's been a few good ones coming through there. There's a TNR one there, you're going to win some money on him. He's not going to be an outlaw or rude. There's plenty of rude ones that don't stay around long, but the good ones, there's been plenty of them for sure. Yeah.
And when do you start handling them from?
Yep, so we wean them, and we've had some good guys, good cut and horse trainers. They'll take them as weaners and do a lot of work with dogs, and then just one-on-one work and just bring them down and know they're all good, and we're not going to hurt them, and just break them down, and then we turn them out for a bit and bring them back in as sort of 2 and 3-year-olds. That's been our biggest sort of thing. While we've probably had a lot more rider bulls and dummy bulls that never chased the dummy game at all. We'd had a few there that we went to, but never chased it at all. They're 3-year-old before we put a dummy on them most of the time. Yeah. So we can turn up with 20 new open bulls that no one's seen, and that's why get them broke in young age, get them shoot broke and dummy bucked, and know that they're too good for the kids to get on the novice and junior and crack them out. Never had a rider in the open in the rodeo, so
wow.
That's been our focus.
Yeah. Now you've taken a back step from carton bulls to the PBR. Do you think you'll get into the dummy events and stuff to keep you a bit busy?
Yeah, we probably will. It's a bit easier to chuck 3 or 4 bulls in a little trailer behind the car and go win some money. So, yeah, we have done that. We've got a guy there that's ripping into our young bulls and getting them really broke. So they're really good to handle, and been going through them, and we'll start going to a few more dummy events. Yeah, for sure.
And because you've got all the BBAs sort of around your area.
We do. We've got a few around there. It's been really good. So they're good to go, and they're really good. It's a good environment to be around.
Yeah, I really enjoy the BBAs. Like the whole committee, the crew, they've all been great.
Yeah, they're cowboys, and they're a lot of them are old bull riders getting into breeding bulls, and they're all committee members. And there's not just a couple of people calling the shots. It's I was on the committee there last year, and it's everything that goes on. It's everyone speaks about and voted on and all that, and it's everyone's willing to give a hand there, and a lot of them are bucking bulls, and sometimes you'll flank their bulls because they're at the back running someone else's bulls up. So it's not a drama. It's a good deal to be around, and they're paying good, and you can take a trailer, not a semi-load, so it's even better.
Bit nicer.
Yeah.
Because there's some good cowboys that go to all them events too, like good bull riders.
Yep.
But they don't seem to leave New South. You'll never see them up north, or you never see them in Victoria.
No.
They all just stay around there.
It's crazy. They're just content being around there and not travelling, and it's I don't know. I think that's just the world these days. Everyone's pretty content with what they got, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because they got the talent that they could be taking a lot of titles back to New South Wales if they hit the road. Like we got Clint Glass. He hits all the shows, and he's one of the best cowboys in Australia. So
yep. He's love watching Clint ride. He's the only man that you got to really hustle to get the flank done. He hates being in the chute. He reckons you'll get hurt there. So you got to hustle to get the flank done for Clint. But he's it's crazy.
When he's warming up, you're already starting to tie it.
Pretty well. It's crazy to think them guys. I've watched them ride calves, and now they're they're probably at the back end of their career. So
Make you feel
yeah, it
old.
does a little bit. Yeah.
How old are you?
I'm just turned 38.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
You're
so-
still a pup.
Still a pup. So still young at heart as well. So got a little fella there that keeps me real young. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you just got the one kid?
Yep. Just one
Yeah.
boy. Yep. Mad Max. So.
And you married?
Yep. Married. Been with Elise for maybe 23 years. We got
Yeah,
together
right.
when we were 16. So that's probably, she's been a big part of my success, really. Just having that support at home and getting a bit emotional. No, she's been good.
Yeah.
So, really good.
Yeah, awesome. And nah, you're good. So just no more kids on the way?
No, one's enough, I reckon.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he's a handful, but no, it's one's enough. He's good. He's happy. He's healthy. We're
Yeah.
happy. So no, it's really good. I'd like to have. Everyone wants a little cowgirl, but we've got a healthy kid. We're happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's with you every weekend. Like every time I see you at an event, he's always jumping out of the truck and
Yeah, in the road.
yeah.
Yeah.
And he's pretty hands-on with the bulls too.
Mate, he's yesterday watching some videos coming up. Actually, I was trying to find some old bulls for him, and he watched a video. He was getting bulls in on his little quad when he was like 3-year-old. So he's been around from day dot. He's got his own little herd of cattle there. He trades and feeds, and yeah, he's got some beef cattle and rodeo bull fathers there. He's hand patting these little Mickeys, and yeah, it's pretty cool to see actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, goes down, drives the bloody Polaris down and feeds them and buggers about. So no, I've been running late. He's actually went and got the bulls in for me. It's my old dog and goes get it. So he's been around it for a good while, and no, he loves it. So
Do you know his aspirations? He wants to just be a contractor or ride bulls or?
he tell me he wants to ride.
Yeah.
But he's been on a couple of mini bulls, but I want to get him to where back in my day there was 50 open bull riders, there was 100 steer riders. There's a lot of mini bull riders and not many of them make it to open, which I've sort of found from when it's there. So I want to get him back to. He can start entering mini bull riders when he can ride steers at home.
Yeah.
So I want him to be able to go and saddle a horse, go and ride him, and then get on the steer and ride him going straight. So I'm trying to hold him off as long as I can, so he don't ride mini bulls. But I want to see him go old school a bit with him, really.
Yeah. What do you think of the mini bulls?
I think they're good to start off and all that kind of stuff, but I feel with the stock, how good the stock is, and then the little of, there's not many stockmen that rodeo anymore.
Yeah.
There used to be hundreds of bronc riders, hundreds of bull riders. I don't see it, building future open bull riders or open saddle bronc riders or anything like that. Like it's really good for now, but when someone runs some good 3-year-olds in for the novice and they get shit whipped, you don't see them again.
Yeah.
So that's my sort of take on it. It's probably a lot of people would say that's not right, but you've only got to see when they do have a steer ride, like they can't get them out of the chute, and that's where my generation cut our teeth on steers. Like they get buck once, some local farmer donates them, and there's been that many guys won titles that beat my ass in the steer ride, and now like it's. I don't know. That's my take, but yeah, I feel the stockman part of it. Like, not many people ride a horse to work anymore. So you see some saddle bronc riders can't even ride a stock horse. So, it's just I don't know. It's a different generation, but that's my take on the mini bulls. I think it's really good for now.
Yeah.
But for the future, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see them good little kids now once they get on something that really freaking bucks and they get shit whipped every weekend rather than win in first place.
Yeah.
It's that's the mentality.
It's sort of you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't with both ways though, I think.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You coach them too much and then as soon as it gets hard then they quit.
Yep.
Or you smack them
Yeah,
when they start.
Yeah,
and
it's not a win-win.
Yeah.
It is what it is. It's not a win-win. It's not a lose-lose. It's everyone's opinion. So
Yeah.
That's mine. I'm sticking to it.
Yeah, you can have it.
But anyway, it's good. Them little guys and promoting the events like the PBR and that, they have them little half a dozen, that's good. When there's 60 of them running out the back there,
Yeah,
that's a bit too much. It's like watching 100 barrel races. But
yeah, it's some of them BBAs where it's sort of left open. Geez, they get some entries.
yeah,
Like
yep,
PBR was good, like because they have their 10 or
Yep, that's
6
it.
or whatever it is.
Yep.
And then of them better kids, and then they can handle them better mini bulls.
yeah, definitely, and they match them up. And as a promotional deal, it's very good.
Yeah.
But as for the future, I'm yet to change my mind. Really,
Yeah.
let's see how it goes. So,
And so what year did you start full breeding, or you've always been playing?
I bought my first set of heifers. I bought 6 heifers in 2009.
And what blood was that?
That was a guy from home there, Al Hollis, his name is. So he had a lot of George Hempstall blood.
Yeah, I had a feeling around your area it'd have to be a bit of Hempstall.
Yeah, so I bought these heifers. They sort of went back to George, and Cloudy Peaks was the bull. So they were like longhorn cross-looking cattle. And then he was very successful for a little herd. He won a couple of bull of the year titles in rodeo, and then he won a PBR rookie bull of the year with a bull called Cream Puff.
Oh, yeah.
Which George carded, but Al bred him. And then Orgasmo was another big black and white bull. He won 2 or 3 buck bull a year. So I had some Orgasmo heifers and had some heifers in calf to Cream Puff and started from there. And then we were pretty fortunate enough. We bought a set of cows off Paul Barron up at Cooya, and Hollywood Boulevard. He was a going bull in them. He was a short round bull at the Touring Pros, but at the indoor events he was a solid round bull. He was 85 to 88 every weekend, everywhere you went, and he was one of them bulls that he'd get a star picket in calf and everything while he bucked. So I've still got a lot of blood. So Wetzel goes back to him.
Oh, cool.
Wetzel's father was Grasshopper, and Grasshopper was by Hollywood Boulevard. So it's pretty thick through our herd, our Hollywood Boulevard, and he come from Paul, which originally he bought him off Ronnie Woodall.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so he's by I think he's by Little M.
Yeah.
And Paul just had a bit of Just Andy and a bit of Speedy and a bit of everything there. So bought about 40 cows off him, some young bulls, and then them older bulls, and went from there. Then we had Scalp Hunter, we'll bring it. We bought same deal, went up there and bought a B double of cattle, some cows off a fella called Grant Berry. And out of them bulls we had Navajo, Get Rich Quick, Bring It, Hard Edges. Shit, there was some good bulls off Grant, and they were just sort of 3 and 4 year olds. He'd done them rodeos in southeast Queensland, and we got a hold of them and got them going to where to get our name in the PBR, we put 3 bulls on a truck and drove to Cunnamulla, and just to try and get a shot, and that's how it started. We took Hollywood Boulevard, Bring It, Get Rich Quick, and Navajo to Cunnamulla, 4 bulls. I was fighting bulls out there and put them on a truck and went out there, and it was pretty funny actually. We unloaded them and they cleared the loading ramp. Just they were hot, like they were fresh. And backed the truck in and they jumped straight off the loading ramp, and everyone was like, "Oh shit, what are these?" And then Bomber Bailey, who's been pretty good to us as well. We've been breeding, sort of crossing lines there. He's like, he got a rerod. He goes, "Run that big freaking brindle prick up. I want to see him again." Don't worry about my little bulls. And we run him up again, and he fired again, and then that sort of opened the door for us pretty well. Them 4 bulls, and it went from there.
Yeah.
So yeah, sort of 2 sets of cows and then just some young bulls, and just kept going from there.
And what year was that when you brought them 4 to get you started in the PBR?
So Hollywood, we bought them. Our first set of calves was like in 2010. So that's the first set of bucking calves we branded. And then I reckon we bought them in maybe 2011, I think it was. And then I'm getting old, but I think it was like 20, I can't even know, it was maybe 14 or 16, Bring It, one PBR bull a year. And then actually out of that same set, there was a calf. He was like a fresh brand smudged calf, and that was Enemies Everywhere. So he was a 2011 born calf. So it must have been just 2011 we bought them cattle. In 2012
cool.
we sort of got going with him, and he ended up winning a PBR rookie bull year as well. So about 6 buck and bull year titles we've had.
Wow.
With them sort of 2 sets of cattle, pretty well. So So
So you good buying from the start.
good buying, yeah. We sent I got a DVD down and then bulls at the road, and I was like, don't get it. I said, we got to buy these. He's like, I want the cows. I was like, I want the bulls. And anyway, it was we both had our win. Like the cows being really good,
Yeah.
and the bulls were really good for us too. So.
And you doing much American blood with your stuff now?
Yep. So I reckon, don't quote me, but I reckon we'd be probably the first ones to bring some embryos out.
Yeah.
So we leased some cows off HD and Dylan Page, and we put them in cows in 2015.
Oh wow.
So we still got 8 cows there at home, and then 2 bulls left. We had five bulls, and they were Let's Party Marty and Crackalackin. So they were full brothers. They're full brother to High Tensile.
Yeah.
And the cows there at home, we've flushed them a fair bit and just live bred them, and there's a fair few running around by them. And other than that, we sort of AI'd a little bit. We partnered on a bull. There was a bit of a syndicate there years ago with Jared Farley when he was living over there. He got us into a bull over there, Redline. He bought him off Cody Lostro, and we all partnered on him. We all got straws by him. So a bull called Redline. We've used him a few times, and there's some calves going by. Some Redline Sons at the moment. Some guys at home there, I leased a bull out, and they've got some good bulls going by him. So, but other than that, the last few years we've just AI'd our own sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Back our American stuff. We haven't gone too deep. A lot of it now is sort of more the futurity game, I think.
Yeah.
With the American stuff, so we just kind of.
Yeah. What do you look for when you're going to breed to a bull?
I look for
Because
longevity.
there's so many good bulls.
Yeah.
So like, what's the thing that stands out? Like just a campaigner, something that's been solid.
Yep. Just
Like a bruiser or something, like for a bull that everyone's going to know.
Yeah, 100%.
Like,
So Hollywood was that. He was a campaigner.
yeah.
You buck him at Cunnamulla or you buck him at Adelaide or buck him at Townsville, he was the same.
Yeah.
And he went for a good while. That's where I've sort of based ours on, is longevity. Like, not necessarily... Bring It never bred on in the male side of things. His females are bred on.
Yeah.
But his calves never bucked.
Oh, wow.
So, and he was like a bucker, but he had longevity, but he was like up here.
Yeah.
The bulls I've had more luck with down here. And then just good bulls, solid bulls. And then they've just bred on. So.
Do you find, does it surprise you sometimes when you use one and then that cross works great with that set of cows, and then you have another set from maybe like more that Woodles blood or something, and they just can't throw nothing? Do you find that when you're trying to figure out your breeding?
Yeah, a little bit. We've, some bulls you're like, yep, can't wait for this cross, and you buck them and they ain't worth a shit. Like, dang, there goes 3 years. And then the other bulls, like I had a bull we bought off Woodall as well, Ariet's Battlefield. We bought him when he was retired. We never bucked him. He was done with them, and that was the deal. And we got him, and he got into 70 heifers for about 3 days, and about 68 of them calved.
Wow.
And out of that 68, there's been some good.
Yeah.
They're still going. Say when by
Cool.
Battlefield, G-Shock. There's been a heap by him, and then his females have bred some good calves as well. So, and he was the same. He's just a very solid bull for them for a long time. So I sort of based it around longevity.
Yeah.
And
do them bulls that have a bit more longevity, do you find that they develop a little slower than them ones that are sort of right there as yearlings?
yeah, probably hard for me to say because I'd leave them so long before we touch them. But I think, I don't know, they're kind of, their mind's pretty right when they're 4-year-old doing what we do.
Yeah.
And they know what to do. It's a bit like a little yellow jacket bull there. I bucked him as a 2-year-old, and he sort of looked like he'd done it before. That's, little yellow jacket like flicks his feet out when he bucks, his front feet. First time I bucked that bull, he didn't turn back, but he didn't go too far. But he kept throwing his feet like he was a dressage horse, and I was like, I've seen that with yellow jacket.
Yeah.
And I was like, that bull just seems like he's been here before. And same as with them older bulls that have got that longevity, their calves, they're not falling over, they're not scrambling, like they've seen like they've been here before.
Yeah.
And it's pretty easy to get the best out of them when they're pretty mentally right and they're not trying to do everything at once. They're just, it's like they've been here before.
And because you were pretty ruthless with what you're keeping and what you didn't keep when you're sorting through them.
Yeah, we were, when we started getting going, we were quantity to get the quality,
Yeah.
which I think you have to do. So we had a lot of cattle around us to get where we're at, and I went that way to start with, was quantity, and was very hard on them to get the quality.
Yeah.
So now we're probably back that off to quality more than quantity. So
How many bulls at your biggest?
at our peak, we had 400. So there was 400 bulls running around, which was, you know,
Fucking ridiculous, isn't it?
From going bulls to 2 or 3 year olds, and we'd get out there, and that's been another luxury. We've had somewhere to keep them.
Yeah.
That's been so good. But we'd get out there and shit, I haven't seen this bull for a while. And he's 600 kilos, never had an out yet. So they take a bit of handling. They wreck a bit of stuff at home, but in saying that, some of them only had a couple of trips and they go to rodeo and they're right.
Yeah.
But probably the peak was about that, 400 bulls, and biggest set of calves on mark was about 260 for the year. So that was
That's a lot.
crazy.
Because I know you would know with Paige and that the amount of bull calves they go through a year, like 300-400 like bulls that they sort through.
Yeah, it's pretty easy when that's your job.
Yeah.
When we were doing it part time, it's pretty hectic. So.
And I like how they got their place set up there. They got like the north, south, and they sort of like bulls that they think are pretty handy, they'll put them in that.
Yep.
And then the ones that might make like college rodeo or something, they'll put them down, and then but they'll keep bucking them through that, and then keep sorting them through which paddock.
Yep.
And then they'll have them killers, and then something that might make just a rodeo bull, 20-point bull or something.
Yep. Yeah, it's good to see them turn up somewhere, and you're like, holy. You've never seen it, just smoked Jose or something like that.
Yeah.
So,
Well, the first PBR event I did, I drew a D&H bull, and I was just like, oh, fuck, here we go.
Yes, we were, actually, I'd give Lockie Richardson a hand on Stone Sober one night.
Oh, cool.
At Tulsa, and he was about 98 in the buck and shoot. He was friggin' hair trigger. He was, they're wide, they know what it's about.
And Lockie's good in there too, so like
he's good.
if he's having trouble getting him out, like.
Yeah, he got him out good. He just plain smoked him, but he's like, I need a spot. And I was there with Jared and Lockie, and he's like, I need a spot. And I was like, yep, right. And he's like, I proper need, don't fucking let me out.
Yeah, don't one arm me.
He was about 98 in the buck and shoot. And he got him out good, and he freaking warmed him up too.
Yeah.
So that was the night JB rode Bushwhacker actually.
Oh, cool.
So it was there was some good bulls there that night.
Did you spend much time in the States?
Not really. Had too much going on here. Also, I just went over every time the guys made the finals. We'd just go over and spend a bit of time there in Texas with them and go to the finals and do that. And then, when we said that was in at Tulsa there, we went over with Jared and that, so they were moving back home and just spent a bit of time with them before they come back home for good. And we went up through Canada and all that sort of thing. And I only ever fought bulls once there. That was in the practice pen with Jared and Greg Potter, and I got the shit hooked out of me. So that was the only time I ever fought bulls. So,
you're like, nah, fuck this.
Yeah, I think it was, I can't remember his name. It was the guy from like Paradise Farms. He bought some bulls there to Australian cut horse guy, John Mitchell, and Potts was there, and some guys come and got him. And did a bit of bullfight, and then this bull bailed up in the ring. I was like, you want me to go around him? Potts like, yeah. Went around, he literally hooked me out of my shoes. So I was still in the middle of the arena. He hooked the shit out of me. I was like, better roping.
It's a lot harder for you as a bullfighter to just travel and then pick up shows, isn't it? Or
it's
because a lot of contractors, PBR stuff, they've got their guys.
Yep.
So it's sort of not like just bull riders where we can just put our entries in and go wherever.
It's a big commitment too, and I wasn't willing to commit to go over there and drop everything and do that.
We had too much going on here.
Yeah, so I never. But there's a guy I've been he come to a school and been talking to him a heap. He's got nothing to lose. He's over there right now.
Oh, cool.
He rang me. He's like, shit, I can go to Cody and do Cody Night Rodeo. What do you reckon? I was like, when are you leaving? He's like, I said, I'll take your work dogs if you want. And I said, just go, man. If you've got nothing holding you, just go. That's all he wants to do.
Yeah.
And he's there right now, and it's big commitment
Yeah.
to do that, and I don't really regret not doing it. Would have been okay, but I don't regret. I was content with what I had here. So.
And you do a lot of schools?
We've I think it was like maybe 10 years ago. Probably did the first one up at Roma at a contractor's place there, George Ayres. So I had the 3 Farley boys, Jared, Denny, and Pete, and they did the bull riding school, and I did the bullfighting school there, and that was the first one. But now sort of tied in with Troy and Jackie at Gold Buckle, and we've done a few down here the last few years, and had a bit of luck actually. There's been some really good kids come through, and Zach's in the States, and another guy, Eric Richardson, Lockie's little brother, he's won 2 bullfighting titles, and he come to home first, which was really, really cool to see actually. Never fought a bull in his life, but didn't want to go to a rodeo and try to do it then. He wanted to go to the rodeo and everyone go, who the fuck is this?
Yeah, do it the right
He
way.
did that. He come to home there, and we were fighting some heifers, and got the dummy out and just give him a bit of a fitness routine, what I used to do, and he just hit the scene, and yeah, he's in PBR now, and hadn't been fighting bulls that long.
Yeah.
Won a couple of titles, so that's yeah, we've had a bit of luck. It's pretty cool to pass that on and see guys do good with it. There's guys there that just want to learn to do it, to work in the practice pen, which is cool as well. But then when them guys go, this is all I want to do, and they come to a school and you see them doing it, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you want to continue doing them as much as possible?
Yep. We sort of couldn't make it happen here in the spring, sort of venue down there. But yeah, no, still talking to Troy and Jackie, and we want to just keep doing that, and always willing to help a guy. And we don't buck many at home, which is not good. But that I could get some young guys there. But I'm willing to help anyone to succeed.
And you got a pretty good setup at home?
Mate, I got one shoot.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I got one shoot. Someone asked me there one time, why you only got one shoot? I said, well, you can walk out the back and tell me which one goes left and right. So you're better than me. So, yeah, I just got a pretty solid little setup at home there, and just got the one shoot and just pen it up like it's at a rodeo, just little pens and off the stockyards, and didn't have to spend a lot of money to do it, and just it works good for us. Yeah. Just to get them going.
And then just from that one shoot, you'll see the bulls that might work better out of the left or something from their trips.
Just get them going there. After, even just watch them the day of the rodeo, or run them around the arena, just watch what lead they're going on. And you're going right today, or you're going left, or the novice or junior bulls, just whatever's empty to keep the show rolling, and you can work it out. Like it's, I always believe if the bull's good enough, he'll go either way. Yeah, he'll do something different, but he'll get it done. But that's how I looked at it. If you can tell the first time you buck them which way they're going to go,
you're better than
you're better than me. So, one shoot, and then a lot of our bulls actually, I got a left-hand delivery, so a lot of ours do go left. But yeah, I'll pick them pretty quickly, and if they're going to go right, they'll go right and stay that way. Yeah. And then if they sort of doing something wrong, I'll switch them up all the time. It's a lot of the old school contractors. I've heard stories about they're left on the sheet and they go to get on them, they're at the right. Well, before I start, they'll be on the left or the right. Like it's only to get the better out of them and help them guys. If he hit himself that last week or something like that, I'll do it that for their benefit and mine, so I don't have to get a reride bull.
And do you find if like one getting a bit sour on it, or sort of you'll switch him up shoots to see if that sort of gets him firing a bit more?
Yeah, definitely. Just keep trying different things to help them. Well, at the time, stay alive and stay on the team. There was always plenty to replace them, so I just always did everything for their benefit and the rider's benefit, not for mine. Like, I'd rather turn up and buck them off clean than
Well, when there's 400 of them at home and there's only 20 spots on the truck.
Definitely.
We'll take a little break and then we'll get back in it. Ozcan Rural, providing Southwest Victoria with everything related custom sheep and cattle yards. Get in touch with the fellas via email ozcanrural@gmail.com. That's AUS, can like the one you drink, rural@gmail.com. Building fences straighter than your local politician. So welcome back.
Good to be back.
So, what was the best bull ride you ever seen in person?
I've seen a few. I've seen JB ride Bushwhacker. I was there that night. Probably another one which there was a higher score at the finals, but I've seen Eduardo ride Chiseled. And then Rubens rode him for the higher score, but yeah, they've seen them in the same week. I was at the finals that week, but Jared Farley, he rode a bull called Concuba Insanity when he was like 17.
And who owned that bull?
Happy Gill.
Yep.
He was a bit of an outlaw, and Jared was like a little smarter 17-year-old kid riding the open bull riding. Still rode steers at the junior rodeo. Made the open. He was 92 points.
Oh wow!
And like I think he was one of the first bulls to win a pro ABCRA CBR back in them days. He won it all in 1 year, and he was a big, mean, speedy bull, and he bucked. And Jared was 17, rode shit out of him with a skull cap on, only because he wasn't old enough to wear a hat. That was, you know, a kid watching a kid do that was pretty cool. And also probably another one was Cliff. He rode Cochise at the finals, which was he made the finals there at Wodonga. Won second there, had enough world points to make the world finals, and he had to bury his grandmother on the Monday, and the final started on the Tuesday, and everyone was staying home, and he just had a little kid, and he's going by himself. I was like hell you are. And I rang up, booked a flight. I was like, I'm sleeping in your bed. I'm coming with you. I'm coming, I ain't missing this shit. And went over there, and we literally flew in that day, and the first round was on. He rode a bull. The first round no one rode. Bit trashy, and then like you got Cochise, and I was like, I need a pass. I'm coming to pull your bull rope. Pulled his rope. He was like first guy out. 89 and a half. They'd been 92, 93 on Cochise all year. He ends up like fourth or fifth in the round or something. It was crazy, but
you think he could have been more?
He should. If he was in the last section, he'd have been more.
Yeah.
He rode him freaking dead easy too.
Yeah.
It was just all the things that happened with the whole thing. I guess that makes anything where you're at and what's happening, but how that all panned out, we went over there together, and I wasn't never going to miss that. I actually flew the year before because he had a chance to go. He was at the Velocity Finals for the Australian guy, and he had a chance to make the World Final, so we flew over for that as well.
Yeah.
And so that was pretty cool how that all unfolded. So they're probably four or so of the best ones I've ever seen. But there's been heaps of good bull rides. So Fraser Babb, he rode Call Me Joe one night down south. He was like 88 in the long round and 90 or 91 on Call Me Joe, won it. And then Cliff actually did a breast cancer match-up, and they didn't score him, but I went and seen one judge. I said, what'd you have him? He's like 47, 48. Yeah, freaking barked. He spurred the shit out. He had nothing to lose. There was no pressure, and donated the money back, and was about 93 or 4 points on him, and it barked. So they were pretty cool.
As a contractor, is taking fellas to the pay window, you enjoy that?
Yeah, that's what I strive for.
Yeah.
I want 20 bulls that they can win on any 20 of them.
Yeah.
I guess that's why I love it so much. I just love bull riding. I wish I could do it. But I never got to be there. But being a bullfighter for so long, having front row seats, watching it, how they do it, having the bulls, it's just couldn't have panned out any better.
Yeah.
Just I'm a fan of bull riding and being involved. So I still watch it now when I don't go. It's like people love football. I just love watching bull riding.
Yeah.
Man against beast, and just it's freaking crazy to think about it. But when guys do it that easy, and it's just so cool to see. Front row seats, pulling the flank on one, they're 90. I love that. Yeah.
It's for outsiders, it's hard for them to get their head around. Like my editor back home, when he's filming, like after they're done, he's like, "This is just fucking dumb." like sometimes we're doing injury lists, and like we have, oh yeah, I broke my back twice, of this and that, and he's just like, this is fucking dumb. It doesn't make any sense. It's just that, but once you're in it, like,
you're in.
You either love it or it scares the fuck out of you and you never come back.
Yep, pretty well. There's something better than this, but actually that's how I got, probably a big part how I got into fighting bulls as well. A mate of mine broke his neck and come back, and I got him out of a wreck. He got knocked out and was dragged, and I was still in my chaps. and up and over and pulled the tail. And another guy there, he wasn't mentally sound enough to finish that weekend. And he's like, you do it.
Oh, cool.
And I was like, fuck yeah. I'm a bullfighter now. Come out here riding bulls, I'm a bullfighter. And yeah, but you know, then he went on to have a very good bareback riding career. So, you know, broke his neck riding bulls, got smoked again, rode bareback horses. So he just loved it, and yeah, I guess it is fucking crazy.
Do you find that a lot of guys will start with bull riding and then spread out to other stuff?
Same deal, like it's the mini bulls and the junior steers and junior that, and then a lot of them guys, like the camp drafters and on horse people, they'll get on a steer and all that, and then next minute they're riding saddle broncs and they go that way, and then, but that's, it's all, I reckon it all starts from the calves and the mini bulls, and then they divert, even like the time event guys, like, you know, mum and dad team rope, and then they're getting on calves, and the bulls come up and they're out, and then they're champion cowboys, like team rope, bull, and whatever. It all starts at the rough sock end. So.
And what's some advice you'd give to a young fella that wants to rodeo or bullfight or?
Probably be all in.
Yeah.
Be all in. Don't be half-hearted. Just want to be the best. Train to be the best. Do everything at home and just be all in. Don't be half-assed about it. They will freaking kill you.
Yeah.
And yeah, just be all in, like, and want to do it for you, not for everyone else or what it's about. Do it because you want to do it. Like you said, you like go to these bull throttle events and you get paid before you get on, and there's no pressure. You're there because you want to do it. Yeah. You know, some people go to a 10 grand bull ride, the pressure's on the world, and they ride like shit. Where you go there because you want to do it. Yeah. You're paying your way, and you just it's something you got to want to do. My biggest advice for probably for bullfighting is be selfish to yourself. As in, you got to have either you got to be single, or you got to have a very good support crew, and just be all in. Yeah. I used to walk in, even though I wasn't physically fittest or anything like that, I was always mentally fitter than everyone else, I believe. I had good support at home. I knew I was going to be good. Yeah. From before I left, I knew I was going to have a good night, and that's the biggest thing. I used to never tell anyone that I was the best, but I believed I was. Yeah. Even though I was fighting with good guys that won more shit, I was better than them. Yeah. I didn't tell them that. I believed it. Yeah. And by the end of it, kind of got to where I was one of them better guys. So always just believe that you want to do it for you, and believe that you're the best there. Without telling them. There's plenty of guys there that give you a bit of shit about bulls, like I'm going to spur it, and I'd rather you sit over there and just go, fuck, I can't wait to spur this by yourself. Yeah. Because the minute you G me up, tell me you're going to spur one of my bulls and I dick slam you, that's pretty cool. But the minute you're over there not doing nothing, saying nothing, but just thinking I'm going to ride the shit out of this bull, and you do, I'll be the first one to shake your hand. So yeah, it's sort of like that manifesting. Like once you start believing it, then it can become reality. Yeah, I never really heard that term. Yeah, it's only become popular in probably the last 5 years. But you know, with the schools I do, it's all about fighting bulls. Don't think about it, just do it. And it's a simple thing I used to do all the time, and got some guys to do it. Is have a hot shower, do your thing, and then just turn the hot water off, and just, it can be middle of winter, just, you're cold. It's freezing cold, but if you don't think it's cold, it ain't cold. Yeah. And you can stand there. And it's so simple. And it honestly sounds crazy. Yeah. But if you don't think it's cold, or you're looking at the towel, or you're looking at something where you turn the hot water off and you're bright red because it's that cold, but if you don't think about it, it ain't cold. Yeah. Like your body can handle that. And that's how you approach the bullfight. That's how I approach everything. Like I've been there like fixing signs up and they're bucking bulls, and I'm like, it's right. Like I can't think about what's going to happen. Yeah. I'm just going to do it. And a few times I'd get the shits and I'd take it out on a bull, then I'm trying to fight him in the ground, but once that bull was out, I'd forget about what I did or didn't do, and you had the next guy. Yeah. You couldn't be selfish and take it out on yourself to leave the next guy hanging.
Mm.
You had to just forget about it, like, not think about it, just do it. And that was a big thing for me, not thinking at all. It sounds crazy to step out of the ring and not think about anything.
Well, it's the same with riding bulls.
Yep.
Better just block it all out. And,
No, what is it? 95% mental, the rest is in your head.
yeah. And there's something in that too.
There is. There is. If you can prepare yourself at home physically.
Yeah.
And if you're
you can't be a fat slob and expect you're going to ride bulls with a good mindset. It's not going to happen.
You got to have.
You do the work, but come game day, and that's it.
Yep.
Like, if you're worrying about this and that, it's too late.
Yep.
Like, the work should have been done during the week, last few months, whatever.
Yep.
And coming to thing, it's happening whether you like it or not.
Yep.
So just block it out, get on, and let your body take over.
Yep. The bulls don't care what you did last week. They don't care what you got on yesterday, what you got on tomorrow. You got to be there, all in mentally, right? And it's the JB says the difference between cocky and rude or something like that, and it is cocky and confident.
Yeah.
And there's that little line, but I'd always walk in there telling myself I was the best bullfighter there, even though them guys look physically fitter than me, had more buckles, whatever. I was always the best there in my head, but I didn't tell anyone that.
Yeah.
But I thought that and had a pretty successful career doing it.
And was it a good feeling having like guys get confidence when you show up with your gear bag?
Yeah,
like knowing that there's a fair chance they are going to leave the arena because they got one of the best guys in the country being there and taking care of them.
Yeah, it's I've heard before, like not at the time but after it, guys like I always knew when you guys were there it was going to be good. You could put that more effort out. So that was sort of hearing that, and then when guys come and shake your hand after bull riding, that's worth more than any money, any buckle, anything. So that was what I took out of it.
Yeah.
Even now, like someone goes, I always felt safer. Like I was talking to a guy the other day, a very successful guy, and he said, I'm done, man. I've got too much happening. And I said, yeah, I'm pretty much done carting bulls here soon and never fight one again. He said, I'm glad you were around when I had a pretty good career and thanks for everything. I was like, that's any buckle, that's right there.
Yeah.
So anything like that, and just the thanks to them guys, and that was pretty cool.
Yeah, and that's probably another bit of advice to young fellas coming up. If they do have a good bullfighter help them, doesn't take a lot to let them know that you appreciate what they're doing.
It costs the committee money to get you there. It costs them nothing to say thanks.
Yeah.
Like in anything in life, being nice and kind, it's free.
Yeah.
Why not do it?
Well, this long on the road, do you got any wild stories that you could share with us?
Oh, there's a few.
You've been around some characters, so I'm sure if it wasn't you,
it's pretty funny one night with Sam O'Connor, Cliff Richardson, Ethan Watts. I'd been out in the Channel Country mustering, so I drove all day, got home, drove half the night, got to Tamworth, and we were coming to Bundaberg, so just half silly and half tired, sorry, and just stupid. So I laid my clothes out on the ground like I was in them. Sam's like, what are you doing? I was like, just so I can early escape in the morning, like my socks are put out there. Anyway, we had the company car and go to Bundaberg, do the boy, and we're going home. It's 15, 16 hours home. We're sending her. We get to Toowoomba, pull up at a set, just go to a servo, pull out on the highway. There's highway patrol. I was like, fuck, Sam. And he's like, what? He goes, hope they don't get me for stealing this car. He's like, what? I was like, I fucking stole this car to bring up here. He goes, I didn't think it was yours. And we're driving along, all good. Cliffy and that, he's laughing and carrying on. We're driving along, the next minute, about 6 highway patrol, the dog squad, straight to the curb, like just bank us on there. Sam's like, what the fuck's wrong? I was like, I don't know. Get there, and I'm like, licence. Give him a licence. He's like, we've got reason to believe this car's stolen. I was like, fuck off. And he went, sorry? I went, no, it's not stolen. And he's gone, it's reported stolen. I was like, it ain't stolen, it's a work car. So it's not mine. I said, but it's a work car. Anyway, he took off, and I was like, what's going on, man? I was like, I don't know. I honestly do not know. Anyway, he comes back, he goes, I said, I had my licence, my company credit card, so I said, it's registered to here, this is everything. Anyway, he walks off again. I said, I wonder what's wrong with them. Why are they taking so long? I wonder if they got me for no licence. And Sam's like, oh, fuck, you're kidding me. I was like, no, I'm kidding you. And old mate comes up and goes, yep, so you've got no licence as well. And you're driving the car. I was like,
You're wishing it all
I was
in
like-
reality.
what are you talking about? He goes, you got no licence. I was like, I got a licence. I said, I've got like 10 demerit points. He goes, showed his computer, he goes, licence suspended. I was like, fuck. As it was, I had bloody didn't pay a voting fine. I had a $50 fine and they took my licence, suspended my licence. So I got done for having a stolen car, no licence anyway. He's like, you better not, you can't drive again. I was like, all right. He's like, when are you coming up here again? It was really weird. So I had a licence, but it was just gone. And I didn't know why. And I was like, oh, I've got to come back up here next week. You're not driving, I hope? I was like, oh, I don't think so. I had to take a semi-load of bulls back to Toowoomba. So I drove up there, did that. Then I had to come like a week later, go to court. So I hired a car from Brisbane, drove to Toowoomba. And then the barrister's like, how'd you get here? I was like, I drove. He's like, you can't, you've got, I was like, I do have a licence. But Sam was pretty wild little character, and he was pretty cool. He'd seen some wild shit, but he's just like, his head was just spinning. That was pretty wild. That was pretty cool to get one on him, because he would try and pull a trick. And another thing that was pretty wild, we went to, it was 40 Australian cowboys, went to Kuala Lumpur in 2008.
Yeah.
We had, it was like a big agricultural fest, Maha it was called, and Malaysian, something like that. Anyway, stayed in this palace of the golden horses, and it was flash, and you know, it's a Muslim country, so no alcohol and all that kind of stuff. And they've sent all these emails like, this is a very quiet town. Yeah, they got guns, and everyone was spastic drunk on the plane on the way over there. We get off. Another fellow I was fighting bulls with, Tim Webb, he was asleep, passed out, spewing in the toilet when we landed. And then we got off the plane, there's like a 14-year-old holding an AK-47, and everyone just sobered up real quick. And anyway, for 16 days we were there, and we had 14 perfs. We had a couple of days off, we had a couple of double headers. And it was an afternoon, do a perf, do what you wanted after that. We were in the markets, like we had a few wild encounters with a few lady boys and bartering, and found this nightclub there that was kind of like the opposite to going to one out west or something. There'd be like 40 shearers and one girl walks in. Well, it was the opposite. There was like hundreds of girls there, and we found out they were working girls. There was a big fish tank with all sharks in it, and yeah, there was plenty of alcohol drank that week, and it was a pretty good time.
Yeah.
So, but there was
But that wasn't the deal where the bulls got stuck over there?
No, so they actually bought the bulls and horses and all that kind of stuff. And,
Yeah, wow.
And like Gary had some, and Matt Adams, and there was a few of them. They're just older horses and older bulls.
So they kept them all over?
Yeah, so they had to. They couldn't bring them back, so they bought all the stock to go over there, and they end up because it was the Malaysian government that did it, and they kept all the stock there, and they're doing research, and I think they were going to outcross some of the bulls.
Oh, cool.
To their cattle, so put a bit more beef in them.
Yeah.
We actually drove past some cattle there one day, and we pulled up and seen this old farm. I was like, can you bring them bulls into the rodeo? They were like real skinny, like kind of looked like Brazilian bulls. They were real skinny, big Brahman, big humps, and we bucked them, and they just like a big bullock, just run around. They were quiet, but they were pretty cool looking. But he took them home, and they ended up keeping all the bulls and horses there, and yeah, that was a pretty wild couple of weeks. But,
you haven't heard of any Malaysian stock contractors?
No, I think they probably would have.
Cart and buck and bulls?
Would have ate them or done something. But, no, I missed it actually. I was crook from an indoor theme park there, and the boys went out, and I think they half got in a gunfight downtown there. So we ended up staying a bit close to the motel after that. But I wasn't involved in that. I was laid up crook after I spewed everywhere on a ride.
Yeah, it was. That reminded me. I was selling this big Ngui bull,
or
Nagini bull, big horns, all speckled, pretty looking thing, and then had him for sale for ages. No one wanted to buy him as a buck and bull, and then put him on Gumtree, and then I don't know where they were from, like Pakistan or something, and they bought him to eat him.
Yeah.
But they kill him at the church. Do a big ceremony and eat him there.
Yeah.
I was like, and he was mean too. And then It was funny when I first got them. They had the dresses on,
Oh,
like
yep,
the
yep.
thing, and he was in the top paddock, but he jumped and fucked off, and then they'd rocked up, and they're like, "Oh," I was like, "How about these other bulls?" Because I was like, "He's too good of a bull to
Yep.
just eat him." I was like, "Just eat one of these beefies would be better." And then, nah, they want to see him. So I was like, "Oh, we'll jump on the quad." So they sit on either side with these dresses, white dresses, and it's wet as, and we're driving, it's just spraying, there's mud all the way up. Finally show them this bull, and yep, they want to buy him, blah, blah, blah. Then they rock up a week later, and with this tiny little trailer with just mesh
Yeah.
on the side, and I was like, just load this bull up, and he's trashing it, it's just going like this, and I'm like, I hope they make it to the enemy driveway. So I
Yeah. Their responsibility then.
yeah, hopefully he jumps out and I'll go and
Get
pick
him
him up. But, yeah, that was wild. I wish I got a photo with them fellas. You
In the
should have
trailer.
seen the strip of mud.
The trailer would have been more interesting.
Oh yeah. Well, so probably what's helped you along the most was probably the support group you've had from your wife to your business partner and
Yep, and a good lot of friends, good
yeah,
champion cowboys and good people as well. That's, you know, be a winner, you hang with a winner. That was me. You know, guys winning bullfighting titles, I was fighting bulls with them. Guys winning bull riding titles, I was travelling with them. Yeah, but that support from home was massive. And looking back, it was probably taken for granted a bit, but realise now. So that's a big thing. I like to at the schools tell them to take that on board.
yeah,
I'd be single and have no. If you can't pack your shit and go to another country tomorrow,
yeah,
don't think about doing it. You know, to be the best, but also being comfortable enough to leave home for a weekend, knowing everything's right at
taken
home,
care of.
especially when you have children.
Mm.
That didn't change me one bit because of support at home.
Yeah.
It changes a lot of people, but that never did. She was more worried about me riding bareback horses and fighting bulls. So that was massive in my bullfight career to know that I was leaving a wife and baby at home and there was no worries from her end, so there was no worries from my end.
Yeah.
That could play on a man's mind, but never did for me. The only reason I retired was I was healthy, I was at the top of my game, and I always said the day I thought about bullfighting and what could happen, I'd retire, and I did the second night of the finals at Townsville.
Yeah.
Walked out the back there after it was done and took Max and took my gear off and had a cry and said I'm done.
Yeah.
And that was it. Never told anyone until the following week. Sent the email and don't ring me next year. I'm done.
Yeah,
So,
wow.
like, there's no indication, no party, no nothing. I was like, no, I thought about it last night and I'm done.
Yeah,
That
you
was
know,
nuts.
eh?
That was as simple as that was. I was still fit, like I was at the PBR finals.
Mm.
Voted to go back there and yeah, like no issues at home, anywhere. It was just, I thought about it that night. I think it was before the short round. I was like, fuck. Might have been a mean one there or someone drew it and I thought about it for 2 seconds. Still did my job, but thought about it and I was like, oh, I'm done.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Yeah,
Done
knowing
and
when to
dusted.
call it's also a good
Yeah.
piece
No
of
one to
advice.
call at the top on my terms.
Yeah.
Been there, done that. You know, it was actually probably with the bull part of it. That's why I like just turning up and no pressure anymore, nothing. And the same with the bullfight. And it was Cowboy Cerrone,
Yeah.
his podcast. It's hard to stay hungry when you're full.
Yeah.
So if I didn't have the success with contracting or bullfighting, I'd be still 38 and trying to do something. But I'm very content with what I've done in life, and I couldn't give a shit anymore.
Yeah.
Just still do the best I can, but yeah, I'm not hungry for anything. I'm happy to turn up and just to get it done and go home.
So what's next for Mitch Russell?
Don't know. We'll wait and see what Max wants to do in life,
Yeah.
and that'll be him. Elise is you know, just before we got together, she was an Australian champion barrel racer. So
Yeah.
she's a bit the same. She's been and done her thing. Now it'll all be about Max and whatever he wants to do. So we'll keep poking along these rodeos and a few bull rides and get Max involved with that. He wants to take that over. We'll help him do that. If he wants to ride them, I hope not. But if he wants to play footy or soccer or whatever, we'll try and coach him or do something that way, and
Yeah.
hopefully give him the mindset I had and try and be good, do good. So that'll be about it. Be fat and happy.
Awesome, Mitch.
Yep.
Thank you very much for coming on, and
Thanks for having me.
I'll see you down the road.
I think it's good.
Cheers.